Hi guys, welcome to another 2-minute devotion with Dad. We are in Mark chapter 9, and something that's come across today, it's another example of sometimes you can't believe everything you read. And what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about the Bible itself, because that would be almost blasphemous in nature, heresy. But it's the way the interpretation is rendered once it hits human hands. Let me explain. So we are in the part where it says Jesus again predicts his death. Now, in Mark chapter 8, he first predicts his death. He begins to say that the Son of Man must suffer many terrible things and be rejected by the elders, the leading priests, the leaders of the religious law, that he will be killed, but 3 days later rise from the dead. And then, in the following chapter, we have a second time. Leaving that region, they traveled through Galilee. Jesus didn't want anyone to know he was there, for he wanted to spend more time with his disciples and teach them. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of his enemies. He will be killed, but 3 days later he will rise from the dead." They didn't understand what he was saying, but they were afraid to ask. And I was reading this morning, and the word enemies struck me. I was like, Jesus didn't have enemies. So I thought, okay, let's look up this word enemy. And I made the most amazing discovery. The discovery is that this verse never contained the word enemy. And it's like, wow, okay, what's going on here? And it made me realize that whoever had done this particular version of the NLT had decided that these people would be his enemies. Who is Jesus' enemy? The devil. Okay, so that is his his only person really that he is at enmity with. He loves people. He loves the Pharisees. He loves the Jews and the Gentiles and the scribes and all these people who were trying to kill him. He loved them still. And this isn't what I wanted to talk about, but it's just something to just be aware of, that we need to just go back and check things. So what does it really say? He taught his disciples and said to them, "The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. After that he is killed, he shall rise on the 3rd day." So let's talk about this. Now, this is just a thought, an idea. It's not necessarily a doctrine here, or I don't know if this is correct. So go away once again, read it, pray it, everything else, and make sure that it lines up. Is delivered, paradidomi. So to give into the hands of another, to give into one's power to use, to deliver to something, to keep, use, manage. There's a few others, I won't read them all. So this is the actual meaning of the delivered, and there's a few renderings there, a few examples I should say. It's quite a few. But is delivered. And it just made me realize that this is sort of talking like not present perfect, but it's present. The usage of this term, it's like it's happening. Is delivered. It is done almost. And so something that occurred to me this morning, which I wanted to sort of flesh out a bit, is that what did Jesus mean by that? Why was he suddenly talking about it now? Or like that it's happening. It's like, no, they're walking down the side of a mountain. They traveled through Galilee. It wasn't a mountain, they were just traveling through on the way to Capernaum. And suddenly he says it's happened. And it made me realize, you know what? Just think of it this way. If someone was to ring me right now and say, "Hey, you want this job? I've got a job for you. New job, new role, new position, whatever." Do you think someone right then decided to spontaneously pick up the phone and go, hey, you've got a job. No. What has happened in the background? First of all, there had to be an expression of interest. There had to be a response, an application. You put your resume together, you go, oh, they want you, they give you an interview, and then you talk it to them, and they do reference checks and backgrounds, and they decide who they want to be. And at some point, the board will go, let's go for this person. I want this person for the job. Yes, that sounds great. Okay, you they delegate someone, you go and make the call and ring them up and ask them to do the job. It's all been arranged. There's a process that takes time in the background, behind the scenes, in order for the phone call to come through to my phone, hey, do you want a job? And I just wonder if this is a moment in time that the disciples maybe never realized, maybe we've never realized, I don't know. Maybe this is a moment in time where spiritually this occurred, because this render is the Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of his enemies. But when we go back into here, it is the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And it goes on. And it's just something that I just wanted to bring to light today, because when things happen in the spiritual, it doesn't necessarily manifest physically straight away. It takes time to come out. There's a process. And so this is just something I wanted you to be mindful of as you deal with things in life, as you go through situations. When things play out, we don't necessarily see what's happened beforehand spiritually. And I'm just going to quickly jump across, if I can find it quick enough. Job is a classic example. Those of you who know the story will know what I'm about to do or go to. So there's chapter 1 and 2, I think. One day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord. The accuser Satan came and said to them, where have you come from? And it goes on, have you considered my servant Job? He's the finest man. Talks about it. Yep, okay, no worries. Go and test him. Sure thing. And then one day, it all hits the fan. Okay? Then that all happens. You can read that afterwards. Then one day, the members of the heavenly council came again to present themselves to the court, blah, blah, blah. Have you considered my servant Job? And then he says, all right, do with him as you please. So Satan left the Lord's presence and he struck him again. It's happened 3 times. Those 2 of those things, and then it all happens. So there was a process, a spiritual process that happened before it broke out in the physical. So I just want to give you some insight today. When things happen, I'll use the word, it's arranged, almost. Like, even if it's an attack against you, that's not God's will, it's arranged. And it doesn't mean there's a massive spiritual conspiracy behind your next breath, but what it means is that we need to take a step back occasionally and look into what's going on here, what's happening behind the scenes in the spiritual. Could be the physical too. But, when Jesus said the Son of Man is betrayed into the hand, or is delivered into the hands of men, as per the Old Testament, even though it's rendered differently here, I just wonder if Jesus had that moment where you know what, Satan's just done a deal or something, I just wanted to bring that to light so that we can then have more insight, wisdom, understanding, less knee-jerk into a situation, everything. It just totally changes our perspective when we see what's gone on to go, yep, okay, right, gotcha, and all that. So anyway, I could talk forever. This is fascinating. I love it. But once again, this is not necessarily something I wanted to say. This is the truth. I have no idea. This is just an idea. But doesn't that change your perspective on a lot that's gone on in your life over however many times? It definitely has for me. Those, when you call them, the Jonah days where everything goes wrong. You get to the end of the day, you just want to die. Sometimes it's just like, what is going on? What the heck happened today? What a week. How on earth did this week gone? And that kind of stuff. What if it's this kind of thing? And what if it's, more than we realize? So anyway, take away what you want of that. Have a think. Once again, pray it through. Make sure that this aligns up with everything else that you read and experience in your walk. Bless you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.